this video, we're going to talk about OBS software and specifically the boot camp of it, the basics of it. So you want to make a video. Why? No, seriously, why? Ask yourself that. Why do you want to make videos? Why do you want to learn how to make videos? What do you want to do with it? Who do you want to reach? What do you want to talk about? What's your goal? Is this a one-time thing? If it is, grab your phone, face the camera towards you, and record something. But if you're looking to do more, if you're looking to use OBS software, if you're looking to do some real video editing, we're going to talk about DaVinci, we're going to talk about Avid, some Photoshop work, the entire video production process. If you're interested in that, you're in the right place. I am Eric. This is the Loudboy Experience, and let's go. I started playing around with video in high school with video cameras, and anytime I could get my hands on friends or family's video cameras, I would. And of course, back in these days, they were either about this size for 8mm or they were really big for VHS. Okay, big clunky cameras. And it shot standard definition only on videotape. And in high school to edit, I connected the video camera with audio and video cables to a VCR, and I do play, pause, and I would edit that way. And I made some little movies in high school. I didn't truly learn video production, the full ins and outs of it, until college. That was my major. I majored in business, but I also majored in TV, film, and radio production. And there I truly learned the editing process. I learned how to direct television, how to write television, how to produce, and the entire process. That was in then. Right out of school, I learned Avid. I actually ended up teaching my professors Avid by the time I graduated, and then I worked in the TV and film industry for over 10 years, coast to coast. Film studios would hire me and my company to come in, and I would consult them on what kind of hardware, computer systems, and software to use, shared storage networks, but also I would train people in how to use high-end video and film production equipment. This applies directly to what we want to do now. Okay, learning, of course, what equipment we need to do this kind of work, or to create videos that we're going to stream online, but also what it takes to go into that production, the thought process behind it. All of this is very important. That's why I started off this video by asking you why. What do you want to do? Of course, at the end of the day, the goal is to make a video. Sure. That is the direct line. OBS Studio, you can get at obsproject.org. So look for OBS Project or just search for OBS Studio. All right, so once you're in your OBS software, you can see right here inside of OBS, you have a main viewer window. Okay, of course, this is what you see. If you don't see anything in here, you're in trouble. Okay, meaning that something's not connected, it's not connected properly, or you just haven't set up what we call a scene yet. What is a scene? A scene is basically where in the past, when I'm doing different shows, like a live show, or I'm just doing a recording session for one of my videos, I will set up a scene. So for instance, for my live show where I talk about Rush and I hang out with all my friends on the Loudboy Experience, in that scene of the live show, I actually have triggered my little switching box where I could play sound effects and stuff, and that shows up directly inside of OBS as one of the sources. So a scene. Okay, as you can see right here, bottom left of your screen, see where it says scene? I have scene 1. This is a game capture. And when I click on scene 2 here, you can see that scene 2 has an audio input, a video input, and then a wave microphone. So 2 of those are actually audio sources. The wave microphone is referring to actually this microphone here, okay? Connected now. I don't have it connected to this system right now, but if it were, I would then be seeing, okay, when you know your microphone's working, you will see an audio readout here, a decibel level of what audio is going into your system. And right now, both my capture device, okay, see right here under the audio mixer section, and my audio input capture, these two are both showing how I'm getting audio levels. Okay, back to the scene. To create a new scene, you can simply click right down here in the black section, right click, and click on new scene. Okay, so now I'm gonna call this new. And check it out. It's black. I have nothing there. All right, now I need to add something to this, right? Okay, so let's go add a source. So once I've set up a new scene, and you'll need to do this when you start OBS. I believe it'll start off with like the default generic scene here at the top. But if you want to, you can also rename these. Right now under new, I can right click on it and go to rename. And I can say my show. Done. And now I've renamed it. So I have scene 1, scene 2 with these sources. I have the video camera and such, and scene 3. Back to scene 2. So if I want to add sources to this, okay, so let's go to my show. I'm going to right click over here where you see the question mark. You don't have any sources. No, we don't. So let's get one. I'm going to right click in that area, pull over, okay, pull over to your right. And right up here, I'm going to go to video capture device. Now, if you don't have one already, just click OK here. And what that's going to do is that'll then you can go find your camera, which at this point should be connected to your computer, and you can add it. However, I do have an existing, and I can click on existing, which is the video capture device 2. And there we are. Now, brand new scene, renamed as my show. I've added a video source. Sometimes, of course, video camera will have a microphone built in. To get the very best video production you want a separate microphone. And these come in a whole array. You can get USB microphones, you can get XLR microphones with true AD mixing capabilities, right? Where it takes an XLR, which is an analog source, and it turns it into digital and feeds that into your computer. Or I happen to be using, this is a USB microphone. So easy peasy. I can connect this to my tower. I can connect this to my laptop. And, you know, it's good enough quality for what I'm doing. I do hope to someday upgrade. Yeah, we'll see. All right, so video capture device 2, got it. Now we need an audio source. I can right click in the black here, add source, audio input capture. Okay, meaning I'm taking audio, I'm inputting it into my system. You notice down here it says video capture device, but up here is audio input capture. Why is that? Well, you can pull audio from, just the soundboard and sound effects of your computer. You can pull audio from a microphone. You can pull audio from all these different sources. So that's why they call it simply an audio input. I'm going to click on that. Add access. You can see right here. Again, if it's the first time connecting your microphone, definitely create new. Just leave whatever generic name it has. You can rename it later. Click OK. And when that now, as you can see, when that pops up, you then need to go, okay, what brand of microphone? What am I feeding it? What is my microphone? How am I inputting that audio? Well, in my case, I have 2 here. I have an audio device and then a microphone array. That's actually built into my laptop. Since we're not using that, I'm going to right click on this. Okay, audio input capture 2. I'm not using it. I can right click on that and click on remove. You can also press delete on your keyboard and bye-bye. Now, right click in the black again. I'm right clicking, right click, add source, audio input capture. I already do have one. So say if my wave microphone was connected, I click on that, boom. The second you add an audio source, it shows up in your audio mixer. And sometimes you could have 3 to 4 to 5 of these here. And then we'll talk about, okay, how do we hide them? How do we mute them? For instance, if I have a really good quality, you've gone out and you've put down the money for a really good microphone. Guess what you don't want also showing up in your final mixed OBS? You don't want, like, say, the built-in microphone of your laptop, right? You're going to hear a weird echo hollow sound because these 2 microphones are competing. It'll sound like crap. And when they're mixed together, there's no resolving that. Unless they are separate audio tracks, that's another thing. So point is, we'll talk about that in a moment. How do we mute them? How do we hide them? So I'm not using the wave microphone. Well, I can see this little eyeball here. Wave mic. Click on that, and now goes away from the mixer. See that? How it's there? It's not. It's there. It's not. Okay. Now it's not part of the equation. All right. And I still only have the video capture device 2 here. One more. Let's right click, add source, audio input capture. I'm going to existing because I have done this before. And this time I'm going to hit microphone aux input, which didn't show up as anything. Another good example. Don't need that now. I'm going to right click. I don't like clutter. And no matter what software I'm working in, I cannot stand Clutter because along the way, you want a direct line to the resources, the things that you're using, the things that you're editing, and everything that you're manipulating to make a video and or audio. You want to beeline to that so you can use it quickly and accurately and not get mixed in with a bunch of stuff that you'll never use. So in this case, I don't want it. I don't need it. I'm going to hit it. Or this time, I'm going to click on my keyboard, press delete. It's going to say, do I want to? Yeah, bye-bye, done. So right now, what do we have? What have we added? We added a video camera. So I see myself here, right here. And then I also see this video capture device is also giving me audio as well. So we have a scene, okay? This could be a show that you could just actually, if you wanted to run the rest of your life with the initial default scene, you could. Heck, I could right click in here and I could call it my name if I wanted. The point is, you could do that. I am going to click on scene 2 and for a reason. Now, we talked about the scene. I clicked on scene 2. You see how I'm switching, how they're changing. Look at the audio mixer. Look at the sources. See that? That's where, again, you can set up a bunch of things, if you will, a show with sound effects, backgrounds, images, all this fed directly into your video production, the live switching you're doing with OBS or recorded switching. All right, again, switching means I'm recording a camera in the traditional sense of live video production is you see it every night. All right, just watch the news, right? You'll see an anchor here, and then you'll see both anchors here, and then sometimes you'll see the whole desk. That's at least 3 cameras. And in the control room, the director is calling the shots. It's like, all right, ready, camera 1. All right, camera 1. Ready, camera 2. All right, give me camera 2. Ready, camera 3. That's that wide shot of the whole desk. Camera 3. The technical director is then using a big, complex, amazing video board to switch between those cameras or fade between those cameras or load up graphics and stuff. That live video production environment that we've always seen and known, say, from live news, the beauty of OBS software is that it has taken what costs normally millions of dollars, right, in a live video production, and it is now in this free open source software. That is the beauty of OBS. Scene 2, sources. I have an audio, video, and wave mic. Well, guess what? Right now, wave mic's not even connected. I don't want to see it. I'm going to click on that little eyeball and make it go away, okay? So right now, 2 things are giving me audio. My audio input capture is, and my video input capture are also giving me levels here. You have another ability to do. If you want to switch between a scene or a different source, you can have it fade. Watch this. When I click on scene 2, let me make a change to my show first. You can do some cool things with the video. Okay, right now it's a 16 by 9. Okay, that is this. Okay, I'm within a 16 by 9 high definition window. However, I can shrink that down. What's great is it maintains the aspect ratio. It maintains it being 16 by 9 the whole time. Can we change it? Of course we can. So for instance, if I had a second camera, if I had a different background or an image. So say if I had some kind of image or picture or show title, a graph, whatever it might be, or even a live shot out a window somewhere, I could have that be this black area of the background, and then me be this kind of picture-in-picture in this space. And that's simply by, I went up here, I used my mouse, and I click and I drag. And by the way, what's really great is if you get it too small, you get it too big like this, you can actually come in here and you can snap this back down and it's going to resize that back where it should be. Oops, there we go. Let's line this puppy up. It kind of snaps like little magnetic strips to where it should be. Boom, we're back. All right. So again, if I want to resize or do something, you just click on my mouse. It's going to the upper my right-hand corner. Click, drag. It's showing you how many pixels. It's on this side, you know, it's 700 something. That side's 400 something. Again, 16 by 9, so wider than it is tall. Now, the other thing I could do is if you hold down Alt or I believe Option on your Mac, you can then click and drag one of these. See these points around here? There's 3 across the top, 2 on the sides, 3 on the bottom. I'm going to grab the leftmost little point here, holding down Alt on my keyboard. I am now cropping my image, not resizing it. I am cropping that image. So for instance, I'm going to snap this back into place. Done. We're back to square one. Now, I don't want to see, or I want to get rid of part of my image, and that's just how I want to do my video production. Great, do it. Holding down Alt, grabbing this point, and now I have cropped myself into a lovely little square. And now this little square will maintain itself and is resizable to put anywhere in my interface. So again, I could have a background here and put that over a background. You might ask, how can we do a background? Let's see. I think I might have one we can use. Give me a second here. Back to 16:9, snapped into place. I'm going to right click, add source, image, boom. Okay. This is what's called a binary city. Okay, great. So right now, check it out. Under the scene, my show, sources, image is at the top, right? In any kind of software, editing, Photoshop, here. When it is at the top, it's at the top. What does that mean? Softwares like this, video and image software, see down through the layers, okay? Think of these as layers. I have my camera, right? It's down here. But the image is up here. Well, the software looks down through, okay? So if there's something here, can I see it? No, unless it's transparent, partially transparent. However, if I move it or put that image below, now the video's on top. Let's do that, just that. Click, hold down the video capture. That's my camera. You know, hey, let's rename this. Done. Okay, so now, all right, so we have our background image, the city, and let's rename that. City BG is in background. So city background's on top, right, guys? See it right there? And the camera's on the bottom. I'm going to click, hold down. I'm dragging up until it's over. Now it is over the city. Guess what? Remember the cropping and remember the resizing? What happens now when we resize? What will we see? Not just black, because we had that image, right? We brought in the city. There's the city. Okay. So now you can make your videos and record videos with you or me talking over this city background, which I can now, it's like, you know what? I want that to be square. Let's go. Holding down the Alt or Option button, I'm squaring it up. I want to keep my saxophone back there and my little Zola light. Beautiful. Got them both in there. So now I am talking, and you know what? Let's put these at the cross section of these roads right here. Done. So now you see the city with a very small little me down here in this my little square. If you don't like that, you know what? I need to show a little bit more for whatever reason, or maybe I need to do hand gestures over here, right? Whatever it might be. I can then click, holding down Alt or Option to that same point, the one on the left side of and then again, I can expand that crop either way. Now, of course, it goes any which way. I can crop the top and the bottom, and of course, the right side as well. It's accidentally. By the way, that was a perfect example. Whoops, and grabbing this. That doesn't look too good, does it? I mean, it's not what we want. Control or was it Apple or anyway? Yeah, it's just Control Z. Okay, and Apple, it's what, Apple Z? Or the point is, yeah. Okay, what is this? Holding down Z. That's undo, 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 undo. Okay. Multiple levels of undo. It's like, oh crap, I screwed it up. And man, I really originally needed to nail that perfect crop here. Whatever it might be. Okay. Control Z, 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 Z. And look, we're already back to there. It actually put our image back on top, all the way back there. So now I can click that camera, put it back on top like it was. Done. Now I can come in here, resize it again, grabbing the upper right point, holding down Alt again to crop. Guys, so simple, right? These are the basics. And what's great is it's WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get, right? It is an interface that you can interact with just mouse clicks in the keyboard, a couple even just mouse clicks if you want. It is that easy. You can just click and drag. There's not a ton to memorize. You can experiment. You can move stuff around. And what's great is the second I start pressing record over here, I am recording. And I am recording exactly what I see in my interface. It's that simple. Any questions? I'm just kidding. If you guys have them, if you're having trouble with any of this, if there's something I'm not covering, drop me a comment. And I'll even I'll put my email in the description. You can email me, but if you have questions and if I haven't covered it, let me know. These are just some of the basics, okay? Starting with scenes, we added some sources. We relayered their sources. We went out and looked for them. We brought in an image. We scaled, we cropped, we moved stuff around. Those basics will pretty much get you going. Now, there are a couple more things that you kind of need to know about, which are settings. As a lot of times that is like a curse word. It's just, it's scary. We don't want to talk about it. We kind of avoid it. However, knowing that they're there, knowing where they are is important. Here's why. Over here, so we've talked about scenes and moving from left to right across the bottom of the interface. Scenes, all our sources, and of course the audio mixer where we can see the levels of our microphone. Always check that before you hit record or before you stream, of course. No, and that'll tell you. Hearing something is one thing, just watching those levels is another. And if those audio levels are you seeing them pegging out into the reds all the time, do something about it. Adjust them. How do we do that? This little bar to the left of our audio levels here, I can click and I drag that down. Okay, if for whatever reason you're too hot, your mic is too hot, and you're pegging out and you're just killing those meters, you can make some adjustments. That's why it's called an audio mixer. All right, moving across, scene transitions. Yes, I can fade between things, between scenes and between sources. A fade dissolves between the two instead of just cutting. Controls, important. Top button, stream. When you click on this, this will actually ask you to go to settings. You can put in your YouTube account or whatever streaming service you're using and stream directly there. I've done it. It works. You can check that out. Secondly, record. This is what I use most of my stuff for. I use OBS to record whatever I'm doing. I'm doing it right now. Like me talking to you here on camera with my microphone, all my lights, and in this room, I am recording to another copy of OBS that's running on my tower. So this is where I do all of my recording. I then take that and I edit that. I edit the video. And we're going to talk about that in another video. We're going to talk about video editing. After recording, let's drop all the way down to settings at the bottom. Again, I went left to right, scenes, sources, audio mixer, scene transitions, and finally controls. Bottom right of your interface will be settings. Clicking on that opens up this window. There's a couple of main things that you need to know and need to look at in here. First of all, if you go to video, chances are you're going to be running high definition, meaning 1920 by 1080, though that is the pixel depth and height of high definition video. Can you do 4K? Yes. Can you do other resolutions? Of course you can. I keep it simple. I do full HD. I do 30 frames a second. Simple. I just want to keep it simple, right? And if I ever need to go 4K, I can. But for now, just make sure that your base canvas resolution is set to 1920 by 1080. That's high def. Aspect ratio, of course, 16 by 9, meaning I'm 16 this way and 9 high this way. That's high def res. And output scaled resolution, I keep that the same. And I'm running FPS, stands for frames per second, 30 frames per second. You're right. Frames per second, what does it mean? Okay. Film, typically 24 frames a second. Video, by default, and still to this day, is 30 frames a second. Do we have 60 frames a second? Yes. Did Peter Jackson use like 70 to 80 to 90 on parts of the Hobbit movie? Yes. However, the default video resolution still to this day, even in HD and really 4K, is 30 frames a second. Why? Film and video are both a series of still images. It really is. Okay? Think about a film sprocket, right? Meaning, you've seen the little films, right? And 24 of those equals 1 second of time. It takes 24 of those with film to have movement. I could I could pause my hand as it moves across the screen right now 24 times, if you will. I mean, just for example, right? Movement requires that smooth motion. Video, 30 of those. 30 of little tiny frames, if you will. Okay, as if you took 30 pictures in a row. Think of stop motion, right? Why does stop motion normally kind of look weird? Well, because the frame rate is really slow. Really great stop motion, you'll see that fluid character, right? The kind of stuff that Tim Burton has done. Really amazing stuff because they're shooting at the correct frame rate to have smooth motion. But you've seen janky stop motion before, I'm sure you have. And it doesn't look natural, it doesn't look real, it looks alien to us. It looks like it's stuttering and trying to move. That's because maybe the frame rate's only 8 frames a second. Well, guess what 8 frames does? It takes 8 frames to move my hand across instead of 30 frames, which is full. Those are the basic FPS frames per second. 30 frames for video. Audio. Right now, I like my sample rate 48K. That's great. You don't want to go any lower than that. I'm going stereo in my recording, but down to global audio devices. Again, settings, going down to the audio. I see how it's blue. Going down to right here, mic/audio. Okay, there's 4 of these. You can have like multiple audio sources coming in. However, I typically only have one, my microphone. And in here, I can pull down, and if my wave microphone were connected right now, I could click on it. I like to do that. In the early days where I was teaching myself OBS, a long time ago, in the galaxy far, far away, I had the wrong audio source there. And more like it was Wave has multiple ways in which it can connect to the computer, and I had the wrong one, and it sounded like garbage. You go out, you buy $100, $200, $300 microphone. It's XLR, it doesn't matter what kind. You've got a really nice microphone. You want to make some really nice video. Make sure it is chosen here, all right, as your default device. OBS knows, like, I'm coming here. I'm going to this beautiful mic, moving up to output. Very important tab. Okay. Again, remember we went across the bottom of the software to the bottom where it says settings. That's where we are. Going down to output. Under output, we have 4 main tabs: streaming, recording, and audio, and replay buffer. Don't worry about replay buffer. That has to do with like game capture and the ability to, like in gaming, you can have things repeat back. So if you're going live with a game, okay, and you're doing streaming a game, whatever game it might be, there's a replay buffer there where you have the ability to trigger it inside of OBS and play back the last few seconds. It's streaming. If you are streaming, this is where you'll set up the parameters. Okay, it's that simple. If I want to go live to YouTube right now, I would go to streaming. I would say, okay, how many audio? I have 2 audio tracks. Great. Do I want to do constant bit rate? What is the bit rate? You might need to do a little bit of research on this. What works? What do you want to do? Or just accept the defaults. Now, a lot of this can be set up. Remember when I clicked that streaming button, it wanted me to set up, it's like going to YouTube or whatever. There are places there where you can tell YouTube, okay, this is how I'm streaming. I'm streaming in HD, and I want it to be like 8 kilobits per second or whatever it might be. That's where, so you can do some of that setup there, but these are like the global, like what does OBS have as by its defaults? What kind of settings will it go to on a regular basis? But they can always be changed. Let's get to the 2 major tabs that I want to talk about. Recording. Most modern computers will have different chipsets or different video things, or different video card, right? You've heard of NVIDIA, and then AMD has their version, and Apple might have its own chipset, although most people are using NVIDIA now, but there's AMD, and there's different companies that do that. All right, now, within those video cards, like the one I'm using right now on this laptop, and the one on my tower, they both are NVIDIA, I believe, and they have some defaults on there, and they have the ability to do real-time encoding of video. A lot of times you want to stick with that. That card, especially if it's a gaming card or in the video production side of things, these cards are juggernauts. They have a video pipeline within them, meaning dedicated video processing that can encode, decode, and send out video all in real time at the same time. So I bring all these technical words and all this mumbo jumbo just to say that right now. Check out the video encoder. Okay. Again, output, recording tab. You see how it says NVIDIA? H.264, you want to choose H.264. If we did not compress video to a reasonable size to store record, stream, and share, the world would have filled up already. But we compress the living crap out of it. But our codecs, meaning the code and decode of that video, which in the analog world is uncompressed. But when we compress it down, it's ability that math and that code and that computer process to compress down video and audio. Let's just, you want H.264 or whatever your video card might be. Look some stuff up if you have to into the nitty gritty. I will answer more questions. Send me a screen grab if you have more specific questions. But know that there's two major parts to this recording tab: type standard and then type custom. I use custom for this reason. Right now I have the default video encoder down here. Under audio bitrate, I'm using 190 at the moment. And then this is on my laptop. I actually go higher, like up to 320 on my tower. And then my audio encoder is the AAC, okay, which is another way. It's just a way to encode video. This is why I choose, again, at the very top, there's custom and standard. A lot of times, if you choose standard, you got your camera connected, microphone connected, you're all good to go. You see them and hear them inside of OBS. Go standard, press record, go check your capture folder. And if you got video and audio, maybe just leave it. Go into settings later, tweak stuff later. If you're getting audio and video recorded into a nice HD video, leave it. I mean, just for a little while, leave it. You used to go start tweaking stuff, messing with this custom inside of the recording of OBS, you're going to be off the rails within seconds. You just will, trust me. And then that's a whole nother conversation we're going to be having. All right. So why do I click on custom? If you wanted to do so, here's why. Output to file, number 1, which I believe is under standard 2. Yeah. Okay. All right. Either one has this. I want to record my audio and video to a specific file. So at the end of the day, I have a beautiful little MP4 video. Got it. Then under browse, tell it where to go. You can choose the default, which I believe right now it kind of is the default. It's under going to videos. It's fine. Any PC and or Mac has a folder, right? You have folders for pictures and videos. So I'll just leave it in videos. I know where it's going. But if you want to pump this over to an external drive or to your desktop, you can. How do you do it? Again, output to file, click browse, go pick the place. Click select folder, Bob's your uncle. Okay, you're done. Now, I'm happen to be using an MOV, which is a QuickTime file, a movie file. Settings, output, recording tab down to video bitrate. For me personally, how I edit, how I like to edit, and the quality of video that I like to get when I've recorded, I go at least 30,000. That's about 30 megabits per second. Can you go higher? Yes. I used to record 50 megabits per second. Again, I came from the world of Avid, and I'm used to massive files. I've edited uncompressed video before on massive SCSI or fiber arrays of drives, which literally has sometimes a stack of 10 drives working simultaneously to compress, encode, record, and render files being written to 10 drives at once. And that's like lanes of a highway. Okay, anytime you render or you do anything across drives, it's like having 4 lanes of traffic opposed to just 1. I believe the default might be 5, 8. That's fine. You can edit, and you know, when we're going to talk about editing in our DaVinci video, 5 or 8, megabits per second, basically, which is 5 or 8,000 down here, meaning 5 or 8,000, that's KB, that's 1,000 bits per second. So when you see 30,000 kbps, that is 30,000 bits per second, meaning that's 30 megabits, meaning 30 million bits. That's okay. So, but when you see only 5,000, that's 5 megabits. Is a 5 megabit video good enough to go edit, make a sweet video, upload to YouTube or wherever you're going, TikTok, whatever it might be? Yeah, it is. I'm just a stickler. I like quality. And sometimes I will use more than I need. It's just how my brain works, okay? Can you get away with less? Yes. If you got the storage, bump it up a little bit if you want to. Don't pick some kind of weird number. Whole round numbers. 5, 10, 25, 30, up to 50. Big round numbers, okay? Don't do, I want 27.685 kilobits per second. No, big round numbers, okay? Keep it that way. Settings. We looked at the generals, how we kind of just choose some general stuff. Of course, that's duh. We have a streaming tab. I actually, you can see different services here under the stream tab. And this is where you can set up accounts in different ways, right? I can go to Facebook and Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, again, for that gaming stuff. But under output, we looked at the streaming tab, the recording tab, and the audio tab. And this audio tab, you can, yes, like you see, I have 2 tracks running at 320. And that replay buffer, once again, was for gaming. Now, audio. Again, one more time under audio. The audio tab, 48 is that's basically the size and type of the audio file. So just keep it at 48. And then down to microphone again. If your microphone's there, the big, beautiful microphone you got, click it, make sure it's there. Bob's your uncle. And finally, video. Make sure it's 1920 by 1080. What is that? That's right. That is full high definition. And right now I'm running at 30, what FPS is? Frames per second. There you go, guys. Those are settings. Feel back to rewind and pause and stuff. And you got deeper questions, let me know. And look, I'm still small. I'm going to do that Control Z thing again. Is it going to work out here? It is. You know how we've been messing around with, boom, done. Again, when the software is open, good software like this. And by the way, that was kind of something weird there. That's kind of weird, huh? How am I doing that? When before it kept 16 by 9. Okay, this is how. By default, if I click on this one of these points on here, it maintains aspect ratio. Aspect ratio, again, is that 16 by 9 rectangle window we're used to, right? However, holding down, remember we did Alt, okay, or Option on Mac to crop, okay? However, holding down Shift, you can do some kind of funny stuff. Check that. Holding down Shift, I now can do some kind of weird squeezing effects where I am actually messing with the aspect ratio, and you can see squashing. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Hey, I just lost weight. Love it. It's my new it's my new filter. Yeah, this is a new and improved thin Eric. Anyway, so that's it, okay? Shift allows you to do that. Just grabbing a point maintains the aspect ratio, and Alt or Option on Mac allows me to crop. Done. That, believe it or not, that is just the basic run through of OBS. What you need to get up and going, I hope. Again, check out my other videos. I'm going to be making them, and they're going to be part of this collection, this playlist. The other videos will talk about equipment. Why do we need the equipment? How to connect it, what to connect it. But also, I mean, you should see what I have set up here. I'll just show you a picture. And as you can see, I have a myriad of devices and things holding my cameras and my lights and my microphone, right? And that's how you see the image that you see here. Lighting's a whole nother thing. I've changed my lighting scheme more times than I can count. A lot of times because I wear glasses, right? And I have done my best to reduce and get rid of glare. And we can talk about that as well in the equipment and setup video. But we're going to do a full Resolve DaVinci video, okay? Video editing. Man, I'm really jonesing to do that. Again, for many, many, many years, I taught professionally around North America video editing. And I really, really look forward to sharing that with you guys. If you have any questions, comments, you can email me. I am Eric. This is the Loudboy Experience. And guys, join me next time. Like it if you like it, and share this with your friends. Have a good one.